since we're here at Gen Con, pardon my cracking voice already, it's already going and it's only day 2 because I've been talking to everybody, man. I absolutely been going nuts at this Gen Con. It's much better than last year. I love it. But one of the big things I absolutely love is Star Wars. And man, whenever G said they're doing a Star Wars collectible card game, it's like, find my wallet. I pulled the Fry meme and just say, just please take my wallet, because they had me at Destiny. I still love Destiny, actually. We still play it on occasion. I absolutely love the game. But to be fair, I did want to see something a little more in the card game space that wasn't completely out of the way. No dice, especially. You know what I mean? I love Destiny, but man, those dice killed me sometimes. So sure enough, they answered my prayers. I was like, oh my goodness, they're coming out with a collectible Star Wars card game. And listen, I had to run over there. I was like, listen, tell me everything about this game. We've already played a couple games. It's awesome, but Danny here is going to tell me, like, I'm going to grill you here, okay? Let's be honest. I'm going to grill you all about this game because I played every collectible card game known to mankind. I could see kind of what you brought different to the table. I absolutely love it. I love the fact, and you awesome. You're one of the designers.
Yep. Lead designer right now, actually, on Star Wars Unlimited. I've been on it since the start, and which is now 3 years ago that we started developing this game. And I'm just excited to finally get people out here playing the game.
So going in, like, what was your goal? Obviously, you wanted to have something different enough. But like, what was the whole goal going in when you're saying, okay, we're gonna do another Star Wars collectible card game? How are we gonna do this? You know what I mean? What was your main thrust for that?
Yeah. So you mentioned Destiny, and obviously coming off of Destiny, we wanted to do something a little more classic, just cards, something that if you played card games before, a lot of it would be familiar to you.
Yeah.
And really wanted to do something accessible, but still like deep, strategic, something you could teach to kids, teach more casual Star Wars fan. The competitive players would have stuff to sink their teeth into.
Yeah.
And so to do that, we kind of focus on a few different things. One is the leaders. These are what you build your deck around. Darth Vader here, we got Luke Skywalker, and a bunch of leaders in every set. They're going to be the heart of your deck. They're going to inform what cards you put in your deck, but also the overall strategy with their abilities, and obviously
I absolutely love that aspect. And coming from a Magic player background, of course, we all play, for Magic players, we play Commander.
Yeah,
we have that Commander in the zone. So this is kind of like that, just to kind of give a relation, where they eventually will come out into play and be that unit and kill things. But once they get knocked out, they go back here and they will not come back out again.
Right.
However, they're completely useful in this field. So even if you lose them, you're still good. You're okay.
Yeah, exactly. You still get some ability from your leader. They're still, driving your deck as you play. The other big thing we had, something we actually kind of adapted from Destiny. We have Jeremy Zwirn on the game, who was a Destiny designer for a long time. Is the back and forth actions. I take one action, my opponent takes an action. Everything you do in the game is an action.
I love that you kept that actually.
Yeah. That was something we came to midway through development, and once we found it, we really loved it. The strategy it adds to the game, the sequencing is so important in this game.
It is extremely, and the thing is, it adds a level that isn't in Magic and things like that, where and plus it keeps you engaged. Like, I can't name any games I play Magic. It's like, okay, it's Bob's turn, and Bob's going to do this, and Bob's going to do this. And it's like, okay, I don't have a counter spell, so I'm not paying attention. It's like action. And that's absolutely what I loved about this.
Yeah, that's something we really wanted from the start. If you don't want to sit there, watch your opponent do their combo or whatever, it's just be like always engaged, always interacting. And with like it's a little different from Destiny too, in that, there's a lot of units out there at times, and so deciding which unit to attack with first, where that attack goes. Yeah, tons of decision making in the mid game and the late game.
Totally, absolutely. Because we found out that when we did our game, one game I found out, I wanted to see what he was doing. I had cards I could put out in my hand, but instead of rushing to get them out, I kind of wasted time. I'm like, I'm going to attack with this guy, attack with this guy, and then put out some cards after he did his thing.
Yeah, so it changes so much from turn to turn too. Some turns I'm like, I wish I could do all my actions right away. I just want to attack as fast as I can. But other turns it's much more like that, where like, I want to wait and see what you're going to do. I want to, like you said, waste some time, react to what you're going to do.
Oh yeah, totally, absolutely.
Especially with the abilities that come around. Some of them trigger off other abilities, or like you want to take a little attack at this guy because he's protecting your base, but then you have to strategically figure out how you're going to attack after that. And it really, the back and forth is amazing.
And then you have your on-play cards, of course, that do something. So it's like you play the guy. I love the guy that you play him, and another unit would be able to attack with a buff. Yeah. You know what I mean? I was like, oh, that's a great card or whatever. I absolutely love it.
Yeah, we love having some cards like that where a lot of the game is kind of, it's on board, right? You're looking at what I have, what my opponent has, kind of figuring out how the turn's going to play out. But those surprises from hand where it's like, oh, he had 2 extra damage. Like I was playing a game last night where I was Vader, my opponent brought out Luke. Looked like Luke was going to swing the game, but then I had a +2 attack to take out Luke one action before he could attack.
And
it really,
and that'll change everything.
Yeah, that changed that last game because you stopped Luke from swinging big.
Oh yeah, I totally did that. Yeah, so I love that aspect of the game. And of course, he broke it into. I like the fact that you broke it into space units and ground units.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have flyers or anything else, but you have your own separate battle arenas, which I absolutely love that aspect as well. That was really
that
cool.
was something we from the very start we were trying to do that, where we split up space and ground, both for theme reasons, of course. You know,
of course, yeah.
Chewbacca fighting an X-wing doesn't make a ton of sense.
Yeah.
But also the gameplay element it adds, where you kind of have to decide: am I going to go heavy into ground, maybe let space go for a little bit? Do I want to have a balanced attack? Figuring
totally.
out from turn to turn and from game to game how you want to allocate those resources.
It lets you parse the gameplay a little better, because I appreciate that. Like, man, if I was just like, okay, I put out my line of creatures and ships, and it's like out here, and it's like, that looks dumb. And also, like, you know, it makes a lot less sense, like you said. So having 2 different battlefields where you can sit here and go, I'm going to dump everything here, and then that guy's going to have to respond, you know, or we're just going to swing at each other and never meet. You know, who's going to do the most damage first? You know, it just, you know, it adds that extra element in there, that strategy.
Yeah, and even with these demo decks, I've seen it play out so many different ways. I've seen some games where, you know, Vader's all ground, Luke's all space. Other games where they're really matching each other very directly. So it can really add a lot of variability to the games. And then I guess the other main mechanic is just the resource system, which is something similar to what you've seen in some other games where you're taking cards from your hand, putting them down as resources face down. So it kind of gives you that feeling that you get from Magic of building up, you know, more and more resources turn after turn, but you're never going to get mana screwed, right? You're going to have choice over what's in your hand, what's going down as resources.
And that's honestly my biggest complaint of Magic. It always has been of Magic, because you just have some of those games that somebody just doesn't fire. No matter how much you build your deck, and if they don't pull like that island, game's over for them, because they're just going to sit there for 4 turns and not be able to do anything, and it sucks. This is why I call it the WoW resource mechanic, because that's similar to that. And I've seen a few other card games use it. And I wish people would jump on that bandwagon a lot more. I absolutely hate games where, I mean, granted that adds an element to it, but I hate games where you take that aspect and it becomes a game of, well, am I going to fire this game or not? You're always going to fire. You're always going to have a match. There's going to be a game if it's a dud. He didn't pull his lands this turn. I win the 3 rack, you know, call it a day. I absolutely love the fact. There's always a game option. You're always playing.
Yeah, it adds like a lot of decision making. And again, talking about that deep strategy where deciding which cards to put down every turn can really shape how the game plays out.
Entirely.
You were saying, I think the game you played, you had a lot of high cost cards, and it was trying to decide.
And it was trying. Do I dump it out? And it was a big deal, because these abilities are important. And especially cost of cards are very important, and you're only able to get one every turn. So like I had a lot of high cost cards, and it's cool. I drop out a bomb and I start doing damage, but he had like a bunch of units that were like, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, and they might be cheap, but they're all doing 2, 3, you know, damage a pop. He has 6 of them, and I'm not taking them out, and he kills my big unit. Guess what? I'm done. It's like he's just wailing on me at that point. So you can't really just drop a bomb where it's like, okay, Vader comes out and the game's done. Have a nice day, you know? No, he can totally smoke Vader and move on. So I absolutely love that aspect too. This game had a lot of great flow to it. It had a lot of great, it kind of had almost everything I'd like in a card game. And it removed some of the complaints I have about collectible card games.
That's great. I'm glad to hear it.
That being said, I will ask a couple of tough questions.
Okay.
So, collectability.
Yeah.
Are there going to be foil cards, special art cards? I know you had full art card promos, which is not unusual for your guys. Are you going to go that extra route? You're going to go the magic route, or no, actually pretty much most card games. You're going to have those. You're going to have those special foils. You're going to have that. Do you know anything about that? As far as
so we're going to have foils. We're going to have extended art, and we're going to have some alternate art, all available in booster packs.
Awesome.
And really, a goal of the game is that, obviously we have commons, uncommon, rare, things like that. We want most of the chase of the game to be in those cosmetics. We want, those to be the rarest cards.
Is there going to be like a mythic rarity? Is there
there's a legendary rarity, which is we can't go into too many details about the breakdown right now. But it's above rare, but it's still the rarest things for sure are going to be the foils, the extended art, the alternate art.
As long as you can at least pull a couple legendaries out of a box, or something to that akin.
Yeah.
There was a couple games recently where I played where it was like they were fun games, but to pull like one card and all their value was baked into that card, and you have to buy like
flesh and blood. Flesh and blood.
Quiet. And you'd have to buy a
Pay
case.
to win.
You'd have to buy a case, and you're still not guaranteed one, and you pull a case, and it's like I got no value. You know that hurts.
Yeah.
You know?
We're trying to be a lot better than that.
So
then you get the cards.
I appreciate
that.
that. Yeah, I mean most people don't go that route, but you never know. It's like, no, we have this super special Vader, and you're gonna have to buy a case. Good luck. No. So I appreciate that. I just want to say thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Very much for not having these super chase cards. Now the art, I was actually one thing about the art, and I've seen both opinions of both sides. Personally, I do like the art. There are other cards that I don't think it looks as pretty on. Other cards, it's really amazing. Like I like the old school comic-y 80s kind of look to it.
Yeah, really comic book feel.
And it looks really good on some cards. Other cards, So I do kind of miss like the painted art that FFG usually goes for, their stock of painted art. Is there any plans to, like, are they still kind of working through the art? Or are they maybe going to mix the art styles? Or is it going to always be this art style? Like, where are they going with that?
Yeah, so we're doing all new art for the game, of course. And it's all going to be in a similar style, but I'll say there's a pretty big range in that style. So there's this comic book type stuff. There's some cards that we haven't shown yet that honestly I think would look totally at home in any of our other games in terms of like just the style of them, that painterly style that you talked about.
Right.
So there's some stuff that veers very onto like this cartoony comic book side. There's other stuff that's a lot more realistic and honestly I love all of it, but yeah.
So you're gonna have a bunch of different artists working at Breath of Fire.
Yeah, we've got I think hundreds of artists working on the game.
Oh, okay,
and
all right.
We're trying to keep the style, make it feel like it all fits together on the table.
Yeah.
But there's a range there for sure. So I think it'll be something for everyone.
Yeah, I like that because it's kind of also encompassing, and something that Magic and those guys do well is they have a whole breadth of different art styles. You'll get a set, and you'll see some that are that painter style, but you have some that are very comic-y looking and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I was hoping you guys would do that too, where not everything is the one art style. Like you have a bunch of different artists and different kind of crazy, different, who knows, sky's the limit.
Yeah, there's definitely a range, and I'm looking forward to people seeing more cards.
I'm super excited because after we played this, we went through the cards. I'm like, dude, I want more cards. I want to start deck building. How tough now? I know we talked to somebody about deck building. It's not going to be too tough. I saw it, and I thought it was very interesting. He was saying that you could put other cards in the deck that don't fit, maybe that isn't an Empire, but for each card, for each symbol that they don't have, as far as your leader goes and your location goes, you pay 2 extra costs for each card.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it kind of gives you a little bit of option, but those cards better be really worth it for that 2 extra costs, you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's in fitting with like sort of the idea of our game, which is it's unlimited. You can do kind of whatever what if scenario you want. Put Luke in your Vader deck or whatever if that's what you really want to do. I'll say, generally in Constructed especially, it's usually kind of prohibitive to pay 2 extra for a card. I have seen it occasionally in playtesting. Jeremy, obviously a great player, and there were times where he was playing like a red deck, didn't have any healing. He's like, I'll just pay 2 extra for some healing, splash in from blue, because I really need healing in my control deck. Yeah. But usually you're going to just playing inner colors. Where it comes up a lot more often, I'll say, is when you're playing draft or you're playing sealed.
Right.
And you're drafting your cards. Honestly, usually you get all the cards you need in your colors, but every once in a while you'll be like, start going one direction, switch to another direction, and don't have enough cards in your colors, so you splash a few. You say like, oh, this is worth paying 2 extra for.
So you're saying you guys did a draft of this, is what you're saying?
Oh yeah, we've drafted a lot.
You have cracking packs going on.
Open packs. Yeah, and draft is just booster packs. It's not like our other games where you need to buy extra products to draft with. Just buy some booster packs, sit down with some friends, and draft it.
Awesome. Oh man, dude, that's amazing. The fact that you're drafting that makes me extremely jealous, though. Yeah. My last question before we go. Obviously, you're gonna have plans for sky's the limit. Are you gonna? Is the possibility you're gonna have like neutral cards, like bounty hunter cards that don't have that extra cost that you can splash in and something like that? Is there any plans to kind of go that route, maybe?
Yeah, they're not letting me talk about any cards they haven't seen yet, but I will say clearly that's design space that's available to us. Keep an eye out in the future.
Okay. Yeah. I tried, guys. I tried. So guys, listen, thanks for coming here and for talking to, thanks to Danny actually, especially for talking with me to kind of give us a back end view for more of our card nuts like me or whatever to kind of give us an idea, because gameplay is one thing, but I always like to get that kind of behind the scenes and kind of where you're going with it and everything else. So totally collectible. gonna have all art, it's gonna have flaws, it's gonna have all the crazy stuff. And I mean, guys, this game's amazing, guys. I mean, honestly, I'm super excited, and it's launching sometime next year, I believe you said.
Yeah, all we can say right now is next year. But hopefully more details soon.
Awesome. All right, guys, thanks for attending another awesome Star Wars Unlimited video. We've been doing a few videos in this, I'll be honest. As always, guys, come to Gen Con. Check it out here at FFG. You'll be able to play demos. You get a demo full art cards and stuff like that, right, for playing the game.
Yep.
And
Demos all weekend. Promo Luke and Vader if you play a demo.
Just come and play, guys. Trust me, you won't be sorry. Till then, as always, game on.
Thank you.